Based on what we know right now, that warrant is for manslaughter.
Dallas police working to secure a warrant for one of their own. This after they say a police officer shot and killed a man after she entered the wrong apartment.
That man's loved ones left mourning his loss now. His neighbors left wondering how any of this could have happened.
He was so genuine, so friendly. He helped me move furniture. I mean, he would always have this huge smile for you whenever you walked up.
Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock, everyone. I'm Ken Molestina.
And I'm Gilma Avalos. We have confirmed 26-year-old Botham Jean, an accounting professional, died in the shooting. We have team coverage for you this afternoon. Robbie Owens will tell us what she's learned about Jean today. But we start with Steve Pickett with what DPD Chief Renee Hall had to say about all of this. Steve?
Starting with those criminal charges that are expected for this officer, Chief Renee Hall saying this was tragic. Looking at what happened here based on the information this department now has. That man dead because an officer with this department going into her own apartment at the end of her shift apparently goes to the wrong apartment, goes inside and fires her weapon, killing a man who actually lives in that apartment. As you mentioned his name, Botham Jean. He, an employee for PricewaterhouseCoopers in downtown Dallas, living just a block from DPD headquarters. We are told by Chief Renee Hall confirming a warrant for manslaughter is being sought for that officer. Hall says the officer lives in that building. The female officer apparently on the wrong floor. This is about 10 o'clock last night. She enters that unit trying to access it. She realizes there's someone inside and she fires when she enters that unit.
She was still in uniform when she encountered Mr. Jean in the apartment. It's not clear what interaction was between them, her and the victim. But at some point, she fired her weapon, striking the victim. I'm telling you, based on the circumstances that we had initially, the initial call that led us to the scene, we thought we were investigating an officer-involved shooting, and we handled it accordingly. When we realized that the circumstances led us to another direction, that is why we are now investigating this incident separately.
Police have not released the name of this officer at this point. We are told they would release her identity once she is formally in custody on this manslaughter warrant. Also, the case in its investigation, it's being handed over to Texas Rangers. Police tell us they no longer view this as an officer-involved shooting because technically the officer was off duty. So Texas Rangers now investigating this, but this warrant comes from DPD. Also, the DA's office, who typically looks at officer-involved shootings, is expected to be involved in this as well. A crime was committed according to this department. The crime, one of their own. Reporting live, Steve Pickett, CBS 11 News.
Steve, thank you. Jean was shot in the place he should have been safest, his own home. Our Robbie Owens spoke with a next-door neighbor today. She is live at the Southside Flats on Lamar. Robbie?
Well, Gilma, that neighbor we spoke with says that she heard that fatal shot, looked out her door and saw that officer pacing just almost hysterically, so much so that she initially thought that the officer had been a victim of a crime. It was only later, she told us, that she learned the heartbreaking news that it was her neighbor, Botham Jean, that had been killed. She says she called him Bo, and they struck up a neighborly friendship the day she moved in, often chatting over their patios or when they met in the hall. She told us that he was smart and genuine and all-around great guy.
I have been in shock all day. I'm devastated for his family and his friends. And, you know, like I said, it's a tragedy. It's senseless. I don't understand how this happened. And I really hope that he gets justice because I think that he deserves it.
Now, we know that Jean grew up in St. Lucia and is part of a prominent family there. His sister took to Facebook to share this heartbreaking post, writing, quote, "Just last week, I was thinking of what to get you for your birthday. Now I have to go pick out your casket." Now, as Steve mentioned, Jean worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers. They released a statement today saying their work family was, quote, devastated at this loss. We also know that Jean was a graduate of Harding University in Arkansas, much beloved on that campus. I spoke with the professor today who called him his son and said his loss was like a heartbreak, was like an earthquake in their hearts. We will have more from him coming up at 5. Reporting live in Dallas, Robbie Owens, CBS 11 News.
Robbie, thank you. And as you just heard Robbie say, Jean went to Harding University, where he was a member of the Good News Singers.
Let the weak say I am strong.
The university has set up a remembrance page online. Many people commented that he was known for that singing voice and that he often led chapel on campus. Our coverage of the shooting will continue throughout the evening, and as always, you can catch up on our website and social media pages.